It's 2026. I have my matcha. I'm feeling fresh. Hi, I'm Christy, and I've been meaning to do YouTube for a while. I've filmed about 4 videos and they've never seen the light of day. But this is the year. This is the year I'm showing everything behind the scenes of building my small slow fashion brand. Because the thing is with Instagram is it's so instant that if I share something, people will want it now and it will kind of give all my surprises away, whereas I feel like this can be a bit more slower paced where you can see what I'm actually working on, which might not land for another 6 months. So it's kind of exciting. I'm excited to watch these back, and I'm excited to see like who watches this and what kind of community we can build. It's January the 2nd, 2026. My boyfriend's back to work and so am I, slowly. I went to the gym this morning, so we took it slow, and I made him breakfast, made me breakfast, and then all I've been doing this morning is refreshing this space. So this room it's a room in my flat. It's a spare bedroom technically that I've turned into my office / dumping ground / art studio, and it's just been full of packaging and boxes and everything since Black Friday basically, and it hasn't really looked good since. Half the stuff was like sitting in boxes on the floor, so even like canvases and stuff, I hadn't unopened them. So I've done that, so that's opened up a bit of space. I brought in this storage display thing that was in my bedroom to here, so it's looking a bit tidy, but it's also kind of closing the rim in. So I was just about to repaint some of the walls, and then I thought I'd jump on and say hello. 2025 was like a real bonus. Like, I started this business and I just kind of didn't expect it to blow up. I just thought I'll tell my story and I'll put it out there and I'll see what happens. Because you try lots of things and some things work and some things don't. So this was just something that really like stuck and really resonated with people and really like kicked off in a big way very quickly, to the point where I could decide to do it full time. And that's all been such a bonus and such a privilege. Whereas 2026, I feel like it's like, right, now I'm probably doing this full time. What's my 12-year plan? What's my 3-year plan? 12-year plan? 12-month plan? And how am I going to make this work and grow and go beyond just a few kind of viral videos? And that, I think, is the biggest challenge so far. This year will decide whether this is like a long-term thing for me or whether this was just a period of my life. So I've got quite a lot to do. I've got a lot of painting to do, because in 2025 I also think I neglected the actual like art and creativity side of the business, which is why I started it. I got so wrapped up in like the business side of it and the operations and sending out orders, and even social content took up a lot of my time. So I kind of want to push all of that to the side a little bit and actually like get into the creativity mode. And I think it's going to take a while to get there. I want to do lots and lots of painting, lots of design work, get loads of ideas. But first, I want to finish tidying this room, because I want to turn this space not just into a fulfillment centre, but into a proper art studio where I feel inspired and feel happy to be here, and it represents me and my creativity. Okay, so I just painted the walls. I have to say DIY is not really my strong suit. I've also managed to get a reply out of a freelance fashion designer that I might start working with, because one of my biggest like roadblocks at the moment for the clothing is actually like getting the designs done and the fit and like the product quality there when I don't have experience in that. And I would love to learn how to do it. The reality is I just don't have time. I'm going to speak to her tomorrow, and she's hopefully going to help me like speed everything up and also do a better job. Hello, it's Monday. It's 10 a.m. and it's the start of a new week. This is the first week back properly, which is exciting, and I am kind of unsure where to start, to be honest. I've just been to drop off some orders at the post box, and I know I've got lots of painting to do, but I also need to like work out what's going on marketing wise and plan stuff for like the next month, because what I'm painting will be like maybe 3 months time. So like, what do I do between now and then? But I don't actually have that much stock anyway, so maybe it's not the end of the world. This is what I've been working on. I actually think it looks better this way. So I was thinking about this in terms of the square of a silk scarf. So like this is my favourite part of the painting, but I also don't want to forget about it being an actual painting as a whole. So I'm just trying to work out like what is best compositionally, because I don't want to like completely fill it with flowers because it's definitely not finished. So I'm thinking another flower here, which I've started, and then maybe one here, but then it doesn't really make sense if this is my square. But what I could do is cut them out in Photoshop and kind of puzzle them together on a screen. This is going to work not on a white background, but on like a cerulean kind of turquoise blue. Because whenever I paint the background on, I don't think it looks right. I think it looks like a painted background. Like this is a great example of where I was liking the painting, but then I added in this like teal colour, which I like in itself, but I just think it doesn't work as a painting anymore, and it's ruined. It doesn't look right to me anymore, so that's for the bin. Yeah. Oh, have you seen my wall? I've stuck some things up on the wall. It's not all like paintings that I love or anything, but I think having them all up together like helps put my brain on the wall. There you go, it's a proper look at my desk. My most frequently asked questions on my art page is what brushes and paints I'm using, so I'll just talk you through what I'm using to paint today and all days, most days. So I've got this is a brush. Oh, I thought I knew what this was. No, it is. There, it's the Raphael brushes. They're in various sizes. Look at Japanese packaging. You can buy them in the UK. I'm not sure where. But they hold water really well, and you could also get a really fine point on them. Like that. So they just kind of work really well for my painting style. If you want to invest in any brush, this is a really good one. And just get one. The other brushes I've got, which I normally tell people use and what I have been using for years, this is kind of a new addition, are the like Chinese Asian calligraphy brushes. So these I've got in, I bought my first ones in China back in 2014. And I was using those, but they got blunt. So then I did end up going to Japan and bought some new ones. And they just have always worked really well for me. They're not as kind of, they don't have this like mop head that these brushes have, but they, again, hold water really well and suit my style. In terms of, I bought this little, it's actually a chopstick rest, but I bought it for my paints brushes in Japan. These are great paints for watercolours. They're not expensive, but they're really pigmented. They are slightly more opaque than normal watercolours, so they're less transparent, so you can kind of layer them a bit more easily. But they're very like movable, as in when they dry you can still move them around a little bit when you get them wet again. These are called Kansai Ganbei, and the brand is Kurotake, and you buy them in big sets like this. And I did buy some more in Japan. You can get them here, but they're significantly cheaper again in Japan. So I got some new ones, and they're really pretty when they first come, and then I get them filthy and ruin them. Then my other favourite paints are these Daniel Smith paints. So I buy this palette. I've just bought a new one actually. They last me about a year normally, and I paint a lot, so they do last a long time. These are about £70, but again, they are really worth it. And if you're going to invest in any paints, I would invest in Daniel Smith paints. That's my kit. The paper I'm using is a very thick cotton rag paper. So this is a handmade paper with deckled edges. It's like, I've used this paper for years and I really like it. It's very absorbent. One thing it's not good for is like fine detail. So if you are very much like a tiny fine detail illustrative painter, probably not the paper for you. But if you like big washes and letting the colours kind of bleed together and stuff with lots of water, that's a good paper to try. And it's paper I love, and I just love the edges of it. Various palettes, but they're more just kind of because they look nice rather than functional. So I've got this palette, which I don't think is a palette. I think it's intended for something else. I bought it in Japan. It's got these holes. If anyone knows what this would actually be for in Japan, I'd love to know. It was just a dish and I thought that's really pretty. It's got like lovely floral painting around the outside, which I've mucked up and covered with paint. But if I cleaned it, it would be lovely. The other palette I've got, which I'll show you, was this custom one that my boyfriend got me for Christmas, which has got, it's like ceramic and it's hand painted and it's got a little doggy on of my parents' dog, Cecil. So it's less practical, this palette, but I love it all the same. Before I go, I'll show you these pencils I got in Japan as well. They are the most beautiful pencils I've ever seen, and I can't bear to open them, but if I was a box of pencils, I think this is what I'd look like. Good morning, it's Tuesday. I'm going to head off to the gym in a second, but I thought I'd check in first thing, start the day fresh. It is freezing outside, it's about -3. So I've been really slow getting out of bed and I've just been on my phone, kind of doom scrolling, kind of like trying to get my brain to get back into trying to get my brain back into the swing of things with social, because my stats have been like this. And every time I go on social media, it's like it's either really big discounts at the moment or it's new stuff. And I don't have either. So I'm looking at these drawings actually this morning. I'm like, everything just looks really pink. Finished this painting. I think it's finished. It feels finished to me. I added the leaves instead of adding and the flower because I really didn't want to like fill the whole page. Get that on the computer today. I've got the other ones to go on the computer as well. I don't really think I should show you this, but it's a sneak peek. Don't tell anyone. So I've got this like green and pink peony design as well. One great thing actually is I reached out to a photographer who's got a studio not that far from me, who has a really like sort of rustic countryside vibe, and he's also worked for a lot of like big brands and magazines. But I was excited to see if he'd like to work with me, and he said he would, and he can also really help me with like putting the whole shoot together with like models and the look and feel of it and stuff. So I've like sent him a Pinterest board of what I'd like, which is exciting, and I really want to take Eden May to this next level. I think that's one of the reasons why I feel really behind, is not just like my lack of new products, but also just because the gap between where I am now and where I want to be is wider than ever. So getting that shoot like planned and ready makes me feel so excited. I think I'll feel much more positive when that's shaped up. Anyway, gonna go gym. I'm gonna do like arms, shoulders today, and I usually get quite bored, so I'll probably be back here in like an hour. I just picked up my phone to leave, and then I realised my manufacturer has sent me new pictures of the latest sample for what should hopefully be in production now, but is clearly not. And it's the second sample we've sent back, and I actually don't normally refuse them because they're normally like spot on, but this one I just can't get the colouring right. And again, it's like it just looks too warm. Because I want it to be like a really cool blue tone, and the background is obviously blue, but the painting itself I think just looks too warm, so I'm going to have to send it back again for a third time, and I think this is probably going to delay the whole thing because they are closing the whole of February. But yeah, so that's frustrating that this just isn't translating from like how it looks on the computer to how it looks on fabric. Do you know what? The more I look at this design, the more I don't think it's right. I don't know if I've just been staring at it for too long, but like I can't get the sample right. I just don't think the colours work. And like I'm trying to find some sort of references for what the look is that I'm going after, or what the occasion is, and I just can't. I'll show you it and then you can get what I'm saying. The ones are painted here. So I really like the painting, and I really like the sort of movement of the petals. And the shapes of them I thought were really like pretty and kind of had a lot of movement to them. And then when it's translated on a screen, I just can't, I don't know, and I'm not going to be able to show you this properly, but like here's the sample. So that's the difference in the old colouring because it was really dark, and the new. And to be honest, I don't think it's wildly different, but it's really brought out these like yellow warm tones in it, which I really didn't want. So now I've gone back to my screen trying to figure it out, and I've like added much more blue into it. But like the vibe I'm going for, I don't get it. In it, it's filling me with like dread rather than excitement. I've got other blue paintings that I could be using. Like I've got these, this one, this one. I could do something with these, but then I think I have the same problem. Hello, we're back from the gym. It's now 12:30 and I barely started my day and it started snowing. But it's quite useful sometimes just to get out of the house and just like let your brain think without like actively thinking, because my gut feeling now is that I should scrap that design. So scrap the design with the irises on, because I just don't love it, and I've lost the kind of excitement for it. To do actually is take a real step back and try to think about like, or remind myself of like what my why is, why I'm doing this, what the brand stands for, what I want it to be known for. And then from my customer's perspective, like what are they going to want to see over the next like 6 months? Like what things are in their diary, like where will they be going, what will they be doing, what will they want to be dressing for, what are the trends they'll be seeing, what are they excited by, all that kind of stuff. I think I need to get excited. I need to get inspired, and I think like taking a step back and like having a bit more of a strategic power hour will help me do that, because I'm like looking at this design on Photoshop and the answers are not going to appear there. It's not a case of like just tweaking the colours until it feels right. I just answered the door, got a delivery. I've ordered another cashmere jumper. This was in the sale because I've been wearing my yellow one non-stop because it's so warm, and a lot of my other jumpers have holes in, which I do need to fix, but they're also not as thick. And I haven't bought a new jumper in years because my mum always makes me them. This is exactly what I wanted. That's great. Pink. It's like a super thick cashmere. So, hi. I'm looking increasingly dishevelled, I think. But we've made progress, made a lot of progress. If you can't tell by my face, I have not completely scrapped the iris design. What I've done instead is I pulled all of these drawings into Photoshop and just started playing around, and I think I'm learning that having like different flowers in one design gives it so much more dimension. I think it's like having one flower can make it feel quite flat, and it worked really well in the peony design, but I think because like they were really detailed flowers, and like there was even the butterfly in there, whereas this design just felt like it wasn't giving that like extra something. So I have changed that. I've also made it a much brighter colour, so I've added like a border on it that's a much more of like a teal blue. So on a screen at least, it's looking great. To kind of get to that position, I did quite a bit of thinking, and I was like, what am I trying to do? What's the occasion I'm trying to like cater for? And it really is like adding romance to an outfit, like adding that like detail of colour and design that like makes your ordinary jeans and t-shirts look exciting. It's like something you'll pull out and you want to feel like you look good, but you're not trying too hard, kind of thing. So I was just like layering up all of those thoughts. And then I had a look at like colours that were trending this season. So I've like mapped out the kind of blues, the canary yellow, the like peony pink is what I call it. And like pulling those all together as well gets your like ideas firing a bit. So it's been a process today. But I feel like we've made progress because I'm now going to have something I can actually send to my manufacturer and not feel like internally screaming about. I also put some flowers as well, which will never not cheer me up. So, good day. Hello, good morning. I'm about to head off to the gym again. It's legs today. Not really feeling it, but again, I think it's this cold. My manufacturer has sent through pictures of the samples of a new top and skirt set and potentially a dress, which is exciting. I'm amending, so it's a similar top and skirt set to the Midnight Rose one that I've launched, but I'm adjusting the top based on some of the feedback. So it's very, very similar. So the main like focus of the getting the samples is actually for the print, because the print is going to be different. But I'm not sure I like it. I think I'm in the same phase as yesterday, where I'm getting it sampled again and again and it's not right. So today is probably going to be another crackdown day to get that print right, which I know I did yesterday. So I actually feel like I don't feel as frustrated as I did yesterday, because I'm kind of like, maybe this is just the process I have to go through. And the good thing is, it is pink. So like at least some of these like paintings should help me. Although I'm not sure. And yeah, at least I know what the other two scarves look like now as well. So I've done more paintings since I sampled the fabric. So I'm looking forward to having a sit down and getting it right, and then feeling really good about it. I've spent most of the day trying to get that design right for the top and the dress, and I think I'm there. So I've the print design to get another sample made. So it will just be a sample of the fabric, and then I can see whether I think that's going to be right for the final pieces. Good morning, gang. It's so dark. It's really dark this morning. And I've got quite an interesting day because, yes, I am still in this room, but I've got a call at 11:30 with a girl who runs another brand, and I think she's doing some sort of content series or podcast interviewing other female founders, which would be the first time I've ever done something like that. I've had a few people reach out before, but I didn't really feel confident enough to do it, and I was also just quite busy, so I didn't want to like get really stressed about it and then come across in a way that I felt disappointed by. So I'm in a bit more of a chill zone, and so that will be interesting. It's like a pre-conversation to the recording, because I've not met her before. I spoke to her before, she just dropped me an email. So that'll be interesting. And then I've got my first weekly call of the year with my coaching group. I don't know, I think the agenda is actually ads this week, and I don't run any ads yet, but I feel like that's a really big gap in my marketing mix. So the more I learn about it, the better. And then when I'm ready, I'll hopefully have all the information and be like raring to go. I don't know if I said, but I finished another scarf design that I'm pleased with, which was using some of the other paintings. So I haven't sent that off to print yet, but I probably will do today. This is actually the first day where I feel kind of back into the swing of things. And I think those calls helped because it just like, it's a way to touch base with the real world outside of my flat. And I've had a few days back to work now, so it's starting to like kick off again, and I'm getting excited having finished those designs. I'm even working on an email now to send out because I've got a lot of designs left, but there's really low stock. So like there's one left of the navy, there's 2 of the Pomona, 3 of the Orla, 7 of the cornflower blue that I've got in pre-order, 7 of the white blossom. So like there's just lots of little bitty designs left. So I like to clear those out as soon as possible so I can have a sort of refresh when the new stuff comes in. I've just been told that my top and skirt sample are on the way. That's in the print that I'm not happy with, but if I can get those like shapes approved, then that's the hard part. And so I'm pumped, I'm getting back into it. Do you know what also really helped was putting that Instagram stories up yesterday and just asking people what they'd like to see from Eda May, because I wasn't expecting to get that much response, to be honest, because I've asked questions like that before, I think before Christmas, and like a few people answered, but it wasn't like sort of overwhelming, whereas this was like pages of replies, and some people even sent me like lists of things they'd like to see, so I think that was really motivating to get that sort of input. I've kind of put out into the world on my stories that I'm, you know, low on stock and that I've got no ideas and I'm struggling and things, which I'm not sure if that was the best idea to really reveal, but I don't really know what else to say. Like, I don't want to pretend that I don't know, like what else can you, like, I can't just like keep on banging the same drum and the same products. I guess that's what most businesses do, but for me, I'm like, I want to be excited and I want to be like a magpie, shiny new things to talk about, or like this happened or whatever, and there's just not that after Christmas. It's quite a slow start to the year. You can't always just be real in the fun moments. You have to be real all of the time, otherwise it's not real. This mess is part of it. And then when I'm in some like fancy office or studio somewhere beautiful in 5 years' time, I'll look back and be like, God, she did everything from this tiny room that she's kept in a tip state with paintings hanging off an easel. Good morning. I had quite a slow morning, but I'm really in the mood to get some of these designs done. I know my sample's on the way. I'm going to arrive on Monday, so if I have the prints like ready to go and the samples are good, I'll be in a really, really good place. So I'm excited for that. So I'm just going to like crack on, put my headphones in and get some of these like paintings translated into prints basically. You will have to forgive the mess in here, but I'm not a tidy person. I'm having a really productive day. I'm definitely like getting back into work mode, which is so exciting. And I'm just feeling like I wanted to feel, really creative and like ready to get back. And like with the designs I've been doing, what I really like is designing something, then like leaving it and then coming back to it like even weeks later, because you just get such like a fresh perspective on your work, and I think it really evolves and has so much more depth to it. So even like the print I did earlier this week, I haven't looked at it for a couple of days, and I didn't send it off to my manufacturer, even though I think I told you I did or was about to. And now I'm thinking like the background. So essentially what I've done is like cut out my paintings and then put them onto a background that I filled in on Photoshop, and I'm thinking like, what would it look like if I could paint that background and like layer up my paintings rather than relying so much on like the digital colour. So I've got these what were scraps of paper that I was going to throw away because I have so much scrap paper as well. As you can tell, I don't throw things away. So much scrap paper that I didn't want to chuck, but like you know, it's not perfect enough for a painting. Like this one is a little bit creased. This one, like, I'd use for some printing experiments. So like I was never going to use this, but on the other side, what I've now done is like use them to paint some what hopefully will work as backgrounds. Like watercolour textures. Like this is another painting I was going to bin, but now it's got a second life, which... Good afternoon, gang. I've been working on these print designs all afternoon, and now I'm kind of going around in circles, like tweaking things a little bit here and there, and I've got like a few different versions that are very similar, well, not very similar, but like I wouldn't do both basically. So what I'm going to do is, and also the problem on top of that is that it takes about a week for the manufacturer to make a sample, and then I just see it on a WhatsApp photo, or they can send it to me, but then that takes probably another 5 days after that. So it's a very, very slow process at the moment, and they don't want to make me a bunch of samples because it costs them money, and if I paid for it, it's also just not very effective way of doing things. So I am going to try and find a UK printer that will make me some samples. Like, it doesn't have to be exactly the same fabric, and then at least I can like visualize what the print will look like. I'm gonna throw a few options out there, get them made, and then hopefully I can get them back early next week, and then I can go back to my manufacturer with a much clearer idea of what I want, because these are all things that if I had experience in the fashion industry and I knew what I was doing, like, I would have figured out. It's one of those things that like I'm learning as I go. It's Friday night, I put in my hair oil. This is why I don't wear a slick back bun. And I'm just finishing the designs to send off to the like printers who can make the samples in the UK. So we'll see. This camera is going to die, but this is the end of Friday, so maybe that's vlog week 1 over. I'm sorry about this hair. I should please give myself a fringe. Is that worse? Yes, this is probably the end of the vlog for this week. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. All comments, engagement are welcome, because it's probably going to get like 20 views, but those 20 views are really important. Thank you so much. I apologise for my appearance. This is not what you deserve. It is a hair oil. It's a hair mask. This is really the messy start. Like, we're gonna look back on this, I hope, in a few years' time and be like, that was the early beginnings of something. And I feel like this is the early beginnings of something really exciting. So thank you from me and my forehead. Thank you. I'm going to continue vlogging and putting a video out every week. That's the plan now, to keep you updated and share what's going on, because I think it's going to be fast. I think this is going to move quickly. So fingers crossed. Bye.